Pleasant afternoon to all. Entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so that you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. Entrepreneurship is about creating change, not just companies. A lot of people have ideas, but there are few who decide to do something about them, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. On this great day, on behalf of Institutions Innovation Council of Sri Ramakrishna College of Arts and Science, I welcome resourceful personalities. To begin this program, invoke the presence of Goddess Tamil. I request everyone to rise for Tamil Thai வாழ்த்து.
நீராறும் கடலொடுத்த நிலமடல் திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மருந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Thank you, girls. A true welcome is never complete without warm words and warmer gestures. I call upon Dr. D. Santanakrishnan, Associate Professor and Head Department of BCom BA, to welcome the gathering.
Vanakkam and good afternoon. It is my tremendous contentment to present the welcome address amongst the most esteemed personalities on and off the dais. The most respected chief guest of the day, Mr. BADRI NARAYAN, our alumni, Managing Director, Accenture Software and Platform Engineering Services USA, and our special invitee, SKANDHA SUHAS, Founder and President, Oregon Young Investors Club USA. Fortunately, we have these two special invitees today for our Almapreneurs 24 Student Entrepreneur Conclave. On behalf of the college, management, faculty, students, and on my own behalf, I welcome you both, sir. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. J. Bamni, Director MBA, who is one of the pillar for developing this Almapreneur theme. I welcome you, madam. I also welcome Dr. R. Shobana, the coordinator of our Alumni Association. Welcome, Shobana. Next, I would like to welcome heads of various departments, faculty members, and my dear students, friends for this Almapreneurs 24 Student Entrepreneur Conclave 3.0. My dear student friends, you have three options after completing your undergraduation. One, you will go for job placement. Two, you will go for higher studies. Three, you will take entrepreneurship. See, if you are choosing entrepreneurship as a career choice, these kind of session will definitely help you to integrate you with the academic community. I encourage you students to participate, engage actively with our speakers, ask more questions, clear doubts. Like you, I am also eagerly waiting for this session. With these few words, once again, I welcome you all and thanks for the opportunity, Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Shawl symbolizes the high regard in which we hold our special invitees. To honor our special invitee, Mr. BADRI NARAYAN, with a shawl, may I invite Dr. Geeta, Head, Department of BCom CA. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. May I invite Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. May I invite Dr. Shankar, Assistant Professor, Department of BBA, to honor our special invitee, Mr. Skanda Suhas, with a shawl. Thank you, sir. Almapreneurs aim not only for financial success, but also prioritize social impact and sustainability. To brief about the Almapreneurs, may I invite Dr. Bhamini J, Director of MBA, to the podium. Ma'am, please.
So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It gives me immense pleasure to stand in front of you today to introduce the Almapreneurs concept to you. I also take this opportunity to join hands with Dr. D. Santanakrishnan in inviting our chief guest for the day, Mr. BADRI NARAYAN, who is the Managing Director of Accenture Software and Platform Engineering Services from the USA, and Mr. Skanda Suhas, who is the founder and president of Oregon Young Investors Club. So who else could we need to be as the chief guest for such a program where entrepreneurship is all about fetching money for your ventures? So just to give you a brief of the Almapreneurs, it actually started as a spark in our minds, some of the faculty members of the college. And then we took it forward as an initiative to our beloved principal and secretary. And he was more than welcoming about this idea. So the idea here, or the spirit of Almapreneurs, to brief you, is to connect you as current students with the past students who are our alumni. So the aim for such connection is threefold. One is to give you a networking opportunity so that you can pursue your entrepreneurial ventures. Two is to give you a kind of exposure that you will never get elsewhere other than from the field itself or from the industry itself. Okay, and the third one is to pave a way for innovation for you so that you become young innovators. So these are the threefold aims with which we started off the Almapreneurs, and we are proud to say that we have come past 3 years now, and this is Student Conclave 3.0, that is the third edition of the Almapreneurs Student Conclave. So what we have been doing in the past years to help you achieve the networking, to help you achieve the exposure, and to help you in achieving the innovation trend that is happening here, we have organized multifold events. So we have organized skill development workshops, we have organized week-long entrepreneurial conclaves in the past, where we had invited alumni entrepreneurs to come and interact with you and to give you a brief of what is happening in the actual field or in the business field. Okay. Apart from this, we are also proud to say that we have launched 101 student startups, which is a great initiative and which was a great achievement together achieved with the college as well as the students. So 101 student startups is not a joke, really. That's what I would like to mention here. And we are actually proud that we are able to do that. Apart from this, what we have achieved is we have soft launched a website or an e-commerce platform where the alumni entrepreneurs showcase their products. So we're trying to bridge or be a bridge between the alumni entrepreneurs and our current students who aspire to be entrepreneurs. So for this, we have soft launched and it's going on. It is going on at a small child's pace actually, but we hope that this will take up a tremendous momentum and it will go to long ways to serve you as a student community. So this is all about entrepreneurs or almapreneurs. And at this juncture, when we are embarking on the journey of delving into what is entrepreneurship, what is investment, or how do I go about with my idea? I have an idea, I don't know what to do about it. So these are all questions that might rise in your minds, for which we are here as almapreneurs to help to connect with the alumni entrepreneurs, who other than the alumni entrepreneurs can give you that wealth of knowledge and the enriching experience that nobody else can provide. So this is a brief about the almapreneurs. Wishing you all the best, and like we are also awaiting the speech from Skanda Suhas, who is the young investors, who's the founder and president of Young Investors at Oregon. So we are happy to have him, and happy exposure to you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your eloquent elaboration on almapreneurs. Introducing someone to others is a privilege that lets you showcase their greatness. To showcase the greatness of our special invitee, Mr. BADRI NARAYAN, may I invite Dhanush of MBA to the stage.
A very good afternoon to one and all present here. It's my honor to welcome our esteemed chief guest, Mr. R.D. BADRI NARAYAN. Mr. BADRI is a managing director in Accenture Software and Platforms Engineering Services, the US. He's been directing in product and platform engineering since December 2018 to May 2021. He has also worked as a senior manager in Accenture from August 2015 to November 2018. He has worked as a client partner in Wipro Technologies and also has worked as a client lead manager consulting, supply chain architect and delivery manager, custom ERP lead and supply chain consultant in Cognizant Technology Solutions. He holds a master degree in computer applications and bachelor's degree in computer science engineering from Coimbatore. He accomplished engineering executive in Accenture Software and Platform Services Organization, serving a key member of the global leadership team since its inception. He also collaborates closely with clients across a range of industries, including the software or internet communication, media, retail, and public services, energy, and fintech. He partnered with a leading retail company to develop the platform of sport, transforming them into the platform-based business. BADRI was a client partner at the world's largest IDM, providing silicon and software engineering services. In the first decade of his career, he architected and implemented advanced supply chain solutions for large enterprises in the discrete manufacturing sector. I would also like to tell that Mr. BADRI is a proud alumni of SRCAS. So we welcome you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhanush. With great pleasure, I invite our special invitee, Mr. R.D. BADRI NARAYAN, Managing Director of Accenture Software and Platform Engineering Services, to address the gathering.
Hello everyone, Vanakkam. Warm good afternoon. I think this is typically the post-lunch torture, I would say. So I want to keep it a little bit more interactive, because I've gone through these lectures and I know how difficult it is to sit after the lunch. Even when we do day-long workshops with our clients, the first thing I say is, let's keep the time between 2 to 3 pretty interactive, make it active, and allow it not to be kind of dozing off. So I'm going to follow the same style here. I know a lot of people, this is a combination of the Commerce Department or the MBA Department, BCom Department, and some computer science as well. How many of you were there last week or maybe week before last when I gave a speech for the computer science students. Raise of hands, anybody? Okay, good. So I can repeat the same thing. How many of you are freshers or first years? Can you show a raise of hands? That's cool. That's a lot. That's very interesting that when Dr. Santana Krishnan told me that who's the crowd, he said first year. I was like, wow, Almapreneurs. In fact, Bamni madam was telling me that it is, I visited so many colleges, so many universities, and I have never come across a program like this. I visited like now about 50 countries, and I have never come across one program that for undergraduate students, the college provides a platform for students to kind of become young entrepreneurs. This is amazing. She told me, yes, it is our baby. It has been patented and trademarked. So I'm so proud that I feel like I should have born at least 24 years later, so I could have been student of Dr. Bamini and be with one of you, right? So we missed all those things. Now, when Dinesh, right? Dhanush, yeah, Dhanush kind of read about my profile. You could have seen that I've been always an employee, and I have never worked, I've never been an owner or an entrepreneur by myself during my professional career or during my college career. I'm not sure how many of you noticed that. But it is very interesting that when I was a student like you, I used to be an entrepreneur. I used to go to those days, computers were a rarity. Today, computers have become a commodity. More than computers, you have also mobile phones, so everybody has access to computers, or technology in general. But I'm pretty sure people of my age who have kind of come 20, 25 years ago, they know what is the value of access to technology. I can share some of my incidents where, even at the college, Dr. Satyanarayan sir, whom I understand is now retired recently, we used to kind of befriend him. We used to kind of see whatever best we can do and go and sit, have that additional access to get the access to the computers. And we used to even tell him that, sir, after 5 o'clock, don't worry about your coffee, tea, whatever snacks or anything. It's all taken care of by us. And then we'll go and drop you at your home. He used to live pretty close by. And we used to even call his wife and say, please allow sir to kind of stay back and give us the access to the computers. And I used to go take night shifts to just go get an access to the computers. So I felt like during my times, this is about 30 years ago, that access to technology was very, very difficult, but the wonders that it can do was amazing. So what I did is that there were only very little brands, or like a countful number of brands that would provide technology or provide computers. Otherwise, it was so expensive for the common man to get access to. Today, you can see the entire world, wherever I have been, one thing that we are so amazed about India, right? So there could be so many different things. But today, if I go and I ask, like, okay, tell me in the recent days, what is that one thing that India has amazed me? Can people tell me what is that? There you go. That's it. Digital payments. I go to a coconut vendor and I can buy a tender coconut and I can pay him or her with my phone. And the person gets it instantaneously without no commission, nothing. Just instantaneously. The person does not even know what is digital payments. The person does not know e-commerce, nothing. But they are able to receive the payment then and there. So this one single technology where it kind of can impact the common man has made a lot of difference. And 30 years back, when I started my career, I saw computers as one of them. I said, okay, how can I take this computer? Because people have to pay like 75,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees to buy a computer. Now, compared to the inflation value for what we have, it was so expensive. So what I did is I used to kind of go to different large metros, and then especially Chennai, and then go into Ritchie Street. First I understood like what are the different parts of the computer. Then I kind of go buy these small accessories here and there, assemble them, buy them at wholesale, and then assemble them. Then you have to install the software, install the OS. Those days were so interesting that you can have these small floppy disks, which will have like Windows 3.1, if I remember, used to have 8 floppy disks, which is like 1.2 megabytes or 1.5 megabytes each floppy disk. And then you will be at the 7th floppy disk inserting and then installing the program, and then there will be a scratch in the floppy disk, and then the whole installation will stop. Completely will stop. But that's what I kind of went through, and then I used to assemble and sell computers to my fellow students and to small businesses, to whomever do not have so much big wallets to kind of pay for a big computer firm and then buy it, a big brand and then buy it. Then later on, I said, okay, hardware is becoming a kind of commodity, which means that now everybody is kind of getting used to it, and it is pretty easy. Even the technology has become so easy that you can assemble a computer in less than an hour, and then installation of software has also become a commodity. So then I said, okay, what can I do next? Then what I did is that I used my fellow students, and then we used to go to small businesses, very, very small businesses, and then we used to build small mini ERP, like they are building software, stock management software, those kind of things. So we used to build these mini softwares, get their requirements, understand the requirements, then the team kind of works. It was then we kind of go and then implement it in those setups, and then we also served it. Now, this is where my college education got ended, and then I was introduced to the corporate world, where everything is big. It's no more small. Now, this kind of changed a little bit, where I kind of got afraid is not the right word, but seeing like, okay, where is this big corporate that was going on? And then I wanted to understand how those corporate works. So that is the journey I have taken now for the last 24 years. And I think I'll continue for some more time to still understand how the big money works. And then kind of see if I want to start a company or something like that. But that's where you need to be very, very careful about having a perfect vision that cannot be kind of challenged by the biggies, the big names, the big box retailers we call it. So I want to ask about 2 names. How many of you know Google here? Or maybe I should put it differently. How many of you do not know Google? I can't even see one hand raised, which means that everybody of us know what is Google. How many of you do not know Sundar Pichai? I think no hands will raise for sure, because all of us know what Sundar Pichai. Very, very proud. We are very proud that he is a Tamilian, he is an Indian, and he is one of the top tech giants in the world. Satya Nadella, I'm sure everybody knows. Microsoft CEO, again Indian, everybody knows. Now, how many of you know a person called Anand Srinivas? I see one hand there. Anybody else? Okay, I see one more hand there. So hardly 2 of us know. And if I tell you, Anand Sundar is actually afraid of Anand. Can you believe it? A multi-billion-dollar company like Google is actually afraid of Anand. What does he do? He's giving a maximum threat to Google's core business, which is search. Now, search is a platform where Google attracts all their inputs and then use that input to kind of create a demand for their ad business, sell those ads to other corporates. Corporates kind of come and buy it, and then they kind of make money with it. So basically, Google is not giving you search for free. What Google is doing is that It opens up the door so that you can come in and then somebody can make money. What is GPay? You think GPay, oh my God, it is so good, it's making money, it's giving me all these free services. No, they are not giving you free services. Basically, they know now what is the consumption data, where you are spending, how you are spending, with whom you are spending, what kind of spend you are doing. All these data is now with Google. Now, Google can do analytics on top of it, and then they kind of sell it to consumer brands, retail brands, whoever it is, right? Whoever is the producer, they can sell those for ads. So that's the whole model of Google. Now, today, I can guarantee you, you go and search in Google on something, any particular thing, right? Just for example, you search for pen. Now, within like a couple of hours, if you open your YouTube, you can see ads on pens. That's how the integration has been. I'm pretty sure all of you would have experienced this. Now, think about it, right? Now, you are going to Google, you're typing in pen, and then you are searching for a pen, watch, whatever it is, and then you start seeing the pen ads or the watch ads. Because those ads are sold to these companies who are selling pens and watches. Now, just imagine that if you do not go to Google to search for pen and watch, what will happen? The watch companies or the pen companies would not buy those ads spaces from Google. Now, this is what I said. Anand Srinivas, who is the founder of Perplexity.ai, is giving a big challenge to Google's business model. Because Google is all about, I'm not sure how many of you know about Perplexity.ai. I'm pretty sure the person who knew who is Anand Srinivas knows about Perplexity.ai. Anybody else? No. So what I request you is to go download this app on your phone. Try it out. Try how it's a multimodal AI. Not only it is a generative AI, of course, ChatGPT is much better than it, but the biggest advantage of Perplexity is that it also takes into account all the current events. Open AI or ChatGPT kinds of puts a big LLM, and then it kinds of limits at what time it kinds of, maybe 2 years older if it is a free version, 1 year older if it is a paid version, and things like that. Whereas Perplexity kinds of takes into account even an incident that happened yesterday and then provides you the response. And this was done by less than a 30-year-old young person, Anand Srinivas, who studied at IIT Madras and then went to Berkeley to complete his PhD. And then now his company is already valued more than $1 billion. He's like what, 26, 27. That's it. And he's already valued more than $1 billion. So this is the power of innovation, and this is what an entrepreneurship can kind of enable you. And one thing I want you to see this thought, kind of I would say the mistake that happened to me is that I got scared by this big world outside. Don't get scared. Now, instead of getting scared, I said, okay, let me go and see what it is so that I can go and give it a big fight. But that was the mistake I did, and I'm stuck in this world for 25 years. I have created 3 large practices for my companies from scratch. My first venture, I did it about $5 million. There was no business. I went and I got an annual revenue of $5 million. My second venture, I got my annual revenues from $0 to $20 million. Today, from $0 to $100 million. So I'm able to create new companies. I'm able to create new opportunities for my company. But personally, I'm still there. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not a multi-billionaire. I'm still there. I'm still looking at my paycheck and then looking forward to that. To the building the next $1 billion business. So that is what, so the capability is there and with me, because that capability was built in this place where you are here, because this is the campus which kind of encouraged me to say that, hey, go sell those computers, go sell those softwares. When I was here, I was the only student in the entire campus who was allowed by then Principal Dr. Sengodan to carry a mobile phone. Because I was an entrepreneur. I was the only student who was allowed, a day scholar who was allowed to go into the boys' hostel and then help the students over there service the computers and things like that. So those were the things, even then, this campus provided. That is why I was able to kind of look beyond and then see what best I can do. I was allowed to skip classes. I was allowed to skip internal exams, everything. But this was all with discipline, because my professors knew that when I am asking them for an excuse, they know what I'm doing, where I'm going, and whom I'm meeting. And then I come back and tell them that, hey, this is what I did. So once you have that student-teacher relationship, when you create that trust, when you extend that respect to your teachers, I'm 100% sure with Dr. Bhamini and the other staff who are here, all the elite staff who are here, can create wonders for you. So every single idea, every single thought, nurture it, try it out. It's okay to fail. That is the most important thing. How many of you now, the most successful companies in the world, have failed like zillion times? It took 14 years for Amazon to become even like, not even profitable, but like kind of break even. 14 years. Because they believed in it. Tesla was up for sale. That's when Elon Musk went in. Tesla was not built by Elon. He went and bought it. How many of you know Steve Jobs? If you go and read Steve Jobs' biography, Steve Jobs was fired from Apple. He was brought into Apple because Apple was going into lower debts, and then he was brought in, and then he kind of pulled it back, and then again he was fired. And then, how many of you know Pixar animation? Finding Nemo, all these famous movies, animation movies. Pixar animation, who is the biggest? I see a lot of hands. Thank you for knowing the company. That was founded by Steve Jobs. When he was ousted from Apple, he went out and started the Pixar animation, and then he created wonderful movies for us. So this is what the world can do if you have a bit of your entrepreneurship capability in your mind. And I also a little bit live by example. And how many of you know that we both are related? Anybody? The other guest speaker who is sitting here and I am related. Okay, I see two hands. Anybody from the back benches? No. So if I say now I claim that we both are related, can one of you tell me how we are related? Not the people here, they know that what is the relationship between us. Any wild guesses, it's okay. You could say he's my grandson, he's my cousin, whatever you want to call him, right? Any one guess? Sorry? Oh, wow, that's a good guess. Who did that? Great. So he's my son, I'm his proud father. And now, can you guess what is his education? So they introduced him to you as the founder of Oregon Young Investors Club. Any guesses? What is his age? No one knows. So should I reveal? Okay. He just completed his 18. So he might be younger than most of you. And when he came to me when he was 16, in a summer holiday, everybody were going out and then playing around and doing everything. He was like in his laptop, typing something. Like he used to play with a portal called Monkey Type. I do not know how many of you use Monkey Type. It's a software. They know Monkey Type. So this is like to kind of increase your typing speed. So he used to kind of increase the speed. I think he was like about 100, 105 words per minute or whatever that Monkey Type kind of tells. That's what he used to do. One day I got mad and I said, how long are you going to do this Monkey Type nonsense? Stop this. Go out and play. He said, no, I'm not doing rookie type. I'm actually writing a book. I said, what book? You should be like scribbling something. Everybody wants to write a book. Then he said, no. I actually am writing a book. I was finding a right time to kind of come to you and ask you for some money so that I can get a professional editor to review my book. He said, wow. And what is the cost of that? $300. What? $300 to review your scribble? No, he said, like, I have gone through this freelancing website or platform where they kind of only accept writers if their content is good. So it's not like anybody can write and then somebody will review it. No. I said, wow, this is some serious business. So let me take a read of your scribble. And then I start reading and reading and reading. It was pretty interesting. Then I asked him that, hey, some of the word choices you used are not at a very mature level, like somebody like me who's 40 plus. When I read it, these word choices are not good. So change those words into more eloquent words. He said, no, stop it. This book is not for you. This book is for people in my age. I want to make them independent, financially independent when they grow up, or as soon as possible. That was the purpose of this book. An $800 investment in NVIDIA stock 20 years back or 19 years back would have made you a multimillionaire today. And this guy predicted that. I didn't invest because I didn't believe in it. But this guy predicted, and then how many of you know Wall Street Journal? Pretty sure. Wall Street, I'm pretty sure most of you know because of the New York Stock Exchange. The street where the New York Stock Exchange is place is Wall Street. And then Wall Street Journal is owned by Amazon, Jeff Bezos. And it is the world's #1 stock market or investment banking or equity markets journal. Wall Street Journal, WSJ, you can go to wallstreetjournal.com. They actually called him for an interview. And then they said that we want to interview you. And then we are making a special article on NVIDIA. And then we know that you have predicted about NVIDIA. Because this guy said like, hey, when the gaming industry was like kind of becoming very big and big and big, NVIDIA was like kind of unchallenged or undisputable leader in providing graphic processing units or the GPUs that go into processing the workloads of gamers. Now, gaming, as you know, I'm pretty sure so many of you, if I ask like how many of you play video games, I'm pretty sure majority would raise your hands. So games, as you know, requires a lot of undefined and then complex calculations to kind of play a game that is more closer, that is more realistic. So if silicon can handle a computational power of a game, then he said that AI requires the same computational capability, which cannot be provided by the traditional silicon, where Intel and others are like kind of great at. This chip, the GPU that is being built by NVIDIA, is going to be very much used for your AI workloads, Gen AI workloads. Come open AI, ChatGPT. Now the entire world is going towards AI. How many of you use AI? I see a lot of hands. That's very encouraging. Now, when you're sitting here, think about it, right? I can see some people who are like kind of very keenly listening. I can see some people who are like, what is this guy talking about? I can see some people who are sleeping, because I did that as well. I can see a couple of girls and boys who are completely dozed off. There's a warm afternoon. And now I can ask my AI in this live event, if I had kind of signed up in open ChatGPT, I could say that, hey, analyzing my speech, how can I make it more interesting? and then the AI would give me suggestions. Right? So this is the power that the AI is kind of bringing onto the table. And for this kind of workloads, to process these kind of workloads, NVIDIA's GPUs are kind of getting big attention. That's why they are now one of the world's largest and the most valued companies on earth. From nowhere, nothing, to today the most valued company on earth, NVIDIA has become it. So I'll end my speech here saying that whatever the little finest thought you have, nurture it, think how I can take that thought and then make it applicable for a common man. Somebody who is around me, who cannot understand technology, who cannot handle complex situations, who are, I do not want to use the word illiterate, but any commoner, regardless of their age, how can I take my idea and make it applicable for them? It doesn't have to be technology. It can be anything. If it can improve the standard of somebody's common person's life, I'm 100% sure the world is going to notice that. And the more you have confidence and you have more commitment on your idea, the belief in yourself. My boss always says, the battle is always won in the mind, not in the field. So win the battle in your minds and ensure that you are protecting your idea. Take the help of your professors, reach out to people like me who are like, we are proud of this campus. When we were here, I was talking to sir, and then he's told me that we were about 1,500 people. Today we are 7,500 people. We have like grown multiple times. So this is a big campus. It's now ranked India as one of the top 1,500 colleges. So you should be all very proud to be here and then take this opportunity to nurture. And I want to come and sit in one of the sessions where you are the chief guest. Thank you one and all the best.
Thank you, sir, for imparting invaluable insights and igniting young minds gathered here on entrepreneurial strategies. Introductions are the first step towards meaningful connections. To create meaningful connections, by introducing our special invitee, Mr. Skanda Suhas, may I invite Harini of MBA to the stage.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. It's my pleasure to introduce our esteemed guest, Mr. Skanda Suhas, to the forum. And Mr. Skanda Suhas has completed his education in Westview High School Diploma, Business Administration and Management, Portland. He did his master's in University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. He became the founder and president of Horizon Young Investor Club, self-employed, in 2021 to 2024. He dedicated to empower individuals with financial independence as a leader at the Horizon Investors Young Club. He drives initiatives to instill crucial finance and investing skills. Sir was being featured in the Wall Street Journal for his insights. He also has background spanning IT infrastructure, small business, and real estate. He brings versatility and insight to a wide array of applications. He won DECA first place in financial consulting event in the state of Oregon during 2023 state career development competition. He won third place in business team decision making DECA and also won second place in principles of finance SCDC issued by DECA. He is also eager to contribute his skills and experience during dynamic terms in pursuit of collective success. He is currently doing his research in University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. Warm welcome, sir.
Thank you, Harini. With overwhelmed joy, may I invite our special invitee, Mr. Skanda Suhas, to deliver his special address.
A very hot afternoon to you all. One thing I would like to correct from my intro speaker is I haven't completed my education at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. I've actually just going to start. I'm a high school graduate. And I know many of you gasped when they said I was 18 and I was also the son of Mr. BADRI NARAYAN R.D. My last name is actually BADRI NARAYAN, so that would have given it away. During the introduction, one of the speakers said that entrepreneurship is about the life, leading a life that other people aspire to have. However, the CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, one of the richest men on earth, he has a company that's so big that it's almost as big as many countries' GDPs. He has thousands of employees, most of whom are Stanford graduates. You know what he said? He said that if he were to start NVIDIA all over again, he wouldn't do it. You might ask, wait, why? Hey, why? You have a multi-billion-dollar company on your hands, and you would say that if you had to do it again, you wouldn't? And he said, the reason I wouldn't is because of all the hard work it took. He would have to work overnight. In school, if I had to spend one all-nighter, the next day I would miss first period because I needed to sleep in. But he has to do that every day. Elon Musk, he has multiple companies, Neuralink, SpaceX, Tesla. He didn't found Tesla, but he made it big. He founded SpaceX and Neuralink and Hyperloop and all those different companies. Most of the time, he doesn't sleep. In fact, in one interview, he said one of the reasons he wanted to create Neuralink was because he wanted to find a way that humans could work without ever having to take rest. That's the life that these multi-billion-dollar individuals are leading. And I'll give you a more personal anecdote. During one summer, I interned at a local small business in my city called Portland, and the founder, Marcus Harvey, he's in his 20s to 30s, very young, and he has a multi-million-dollar apparel company in Portland. And he told us that when he was starting his company, he used to live on subsidized housing. The housing that they would give to homeless people so that they wouldn't be roaming the streets. The one that your parents say you shouldn't go into, that's the one he was living in when he was founding his company. So I asked him, you graduated from university, you have a degree, why don't you just get a job? And he said, no, I never wanted to get a job. I had a job and then I quit it. I know many of the people here today, when they graduate from college, they see on Instagram reels, people like Andrew Tate driving their McLarens, their Lamborghinis and all that, and they think, wow, I wish that could be me. But that doesn't happen overnight. A lot of these founders all had to go through the same gauntlet that almost all of us will go through. They had to go to a 9-to-5 job. They had to have their own boss. The difference is, some of them thought, let me leave this cycle and start my own thing. And others thought, how can I make it big where I am? Let me give you an example. In the United States, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates are all very popular apps, but they have nowhere near the outreach that they have in India. In India, even my grandmother knows how to use Swiggy. Even my grandmother knows how to use GPay. I go to the US, and one time we had to teach senior citizens how to not get caught in scam calls. And remember, the United States is one of the richest countries on earth. This is where the technology all began, and yet a large part of its population doesn't know that Microsoft is not calling about a mischarge. So why are these companies in India so big, whereas the starters in the US are like medium level in terms of recognition? And I'll leave it to one thing, population. India has 1 billion people. The United States cannot even come close to that. And yet, with 1 billion people, how is this country the one that's sending all the workers? Today in India, people are not wanting to stay in the country to start their own business. And that's, in my opinion, one of the dumbest decisions you could make. It's so cheap to get labor here. In fact, in the US, one of the most popular ways of starting a business is hiring people from India to do all the grunt work so that the owner can keep all the profits and then get investments for the companies. My friend did the exact same thing in high school. He went to the same open community website that I did to find people who can do some coding, back-end coding, and he managed to sell the idea to investors, and now he gets a monthly sum of around $20,000 a month. He makes $20,000 a month based off of some guy in India, probably in Hyderabad or Bangalore, maybe making $50 an hour at max. So why is that? Why is that we are always being told not to start our own businesses? It's because of one thing, passion. Many of us today, when we hear the term entrepreneur, we think it's someone who starts their own business. Well, I will be the first one to tell you that's not true. An entrepreneur is someone who follows their passion. Elon Musk, to most people, is the founder of Tesla, except he is not. Tesla was there over 10 years before. Most of the battery technology was there over 30 years before. And the first electric car, believe it or not, was created before the gas car. In fact, electric cars were more popular in the early 1900s than petrol cars. And yet, nowadays, petrol cars are still more popular. So why is that? Elon Musk understood one thing, his passion for automobiles. He loved cars. He had a McLaren F1. He has a Lotus SP. He has so many fantastic cars. And yet he took a risk on Tesla. And he decided to make it a multi-billion-dollar company. So theoretically, he's not an entrepreneur. He didn't found Tesla. He used money he had from selling PayPal, used that money to buy Tesla, and then made it big. So why do we consider him an entrepreneur? Well, the textbook definition says that you have to be the founder of your own company. You have to create something. But I can honestly debate that Elon Musk has done more for Tesla than the original founders did. He has helped them become massive and to becoming one of the most popular cars on the road. Jensen Huang is the CEO and founder of NVIDIA. He started NVIDIA after leaving his job. And in fact, NVIDIA's first product was a massive disappointment. It did so bad that most people told him to close the company and find a job somewhere else. That's almost the same as your parents telling you to find a job after failing your exams. It hasn't happened to me, but I'm sure many of you here are worried that that might happen to you. And I used to think Jensen Huang could have made a good living retiring from his position at NVIDIA, selling it to some company who will scrap it of all its value. But he decided to stay because of his passion towards the business. Henry Ford, Jeff Bezos, all of them had to do something with their passion that could never leave them. For me, that was trying to understand the world as it is. I always looked at people and I thought, there are people working maybe 20, 30 hours a week and they're making millions of dollars. Why is that? Why is the people working 20 to 30 hours a week making millions of dollars? And yet the hard laborers who are putting bricks, who are breaking stone, making so little. So then I got into the companies that own them. And then I got into investing. And then I got into entrepreneurship. I met with over 100 founders who all started their own company. And I asked them one thing. I always used to ask them this one question, which was, why did you start your company? And it was always the same thing. They either saw a gap in the market or they had a passion for something and could not abandon it. So let me give you an example of someone who found a gap in the market, Jensen Huang. You see, back in the day, around the 90s, a lot of computing work was done by CPUs, which, as my father said, do things in very logical steps. And that's great for a lot of different applications. However, nowadays, we have AI. I tried AI once, and I pointed it at my homework sheet, and it was a ChatGPT 4.0. I pointed it at my sheet, and believe it or not, it not only gave me the answer, but when I asked, how can you do this? How can you solve this? It told me. And then I tried it in a different tactic. I said to it, okay, here's my homework paper, but do not give me the answer. Lead me to solve it. So it then showed me how to solve the problem without ever giving me the answer. And normally, this is the work that we would hire a tutor for and go to tuition, except this is gathering data from millions of sources. When you're playing PUBG Mobile or whatever, it doesn't know exactly what your next move is. It has to guess and it has to do it real time, which is what GPUs were used for. So when video games started becoming big, NVIDIA's products became massive hits. However, let me tell you a secret. Not all of NVIDIA's products are massively successful. Some of the mobile computing processes that you might see in a very few niche smartphones were massive failures, but they didn't stop them. So I'll come to the main point of today's presentation, which is how can you build these multi-billion-dollar startups in India? And the idea is be original. Some of the biggest startups in India today, like Swiggy, Zomato, Unacademy, BADRI, they're all copycats of American companies which have been doing it for years before. Think about Swiggy and Zomato, some of the biggest startups in India. When you go on YouTube, this is what you will say when it says Indian startup successes. But Uber Eats, Postmates, and Grubhub have been doing it for a lot longer. In fact, DoorDash's idea came to Y Combinator, a startup incubator, in 2005 before I was even born. That's how old the concept is. And yet, I don't see DoorDash in India. I don't see Uber Eats. I only see these local businesses. But then I take the business to the US and I go inside the office for the VC, right? I want to get investment to take the business globally. And I show them, this is my app. It's called Swiggy. We have billions of users worldwide. We have thousands of orders being done daily. We are carbon neutral, this, that. And then they tell me to leave. In the US, it's very informal. They won't be like, we'll think about it, sir, and then let go. They'll be like, we don't like your idea. Go have fun. Bye-bye. Why is that? Well, it's because when Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates exist, why bother having Swiggy? Instead of putting the money into Swiggy, they could just put the money somewhere else. So you have to be original. Think about the problem that you have every day and think about how it could be solved on a worldwide scale. Let me give you an example. The founder of Oyo Hotels is an Indian. And he saw that many hotel owners, right, when you want to usually build a hotel, you have to first buy the land. Then you have to, build the hotel on top. Then you have to furnish it inside. And then you have to find a way to attract customers. Then you have to market the hotel so people actually come and it's not just empty the whole time. And he thought, what if I create a platform where hotel owners could then market their hotels as Oyo hotels? So that way we do all the branding and marketing and all of that. And all they have to do is run the hotel. And it's a massive success. In fact, in the United States, there are hundreds of Oyo hotels. And this is an Indian company that went global. They didn't stick to the dogma that is, let me just copy what a US company has done and redo it. And I'll give you another example, YouTube. YouTube today is one of the most popular streaming sites. Every day on YouTube, millions of minutes of content are uploaded. And yet, do you know something? For over 10 years, YouTube didn't make a profit. So what does that mean? That meant that if you were the founder of YouTube and you wanted to get a salary, and in a company when you get your salary, that's usually the leftover money after all of your expenses, after you paid all the employees, that would usually be the founder's salary. Zero profit means that when you go to get your final salary, you won't have any money, which meant that they had to get loan after loan and they had to leverage all of their money in order to stay alive. And yet this is one of the biggest sites on the earth. So YouTube had to find a way to monetize or find a way to make money, because the unfortunate truth is, in today's world, if you cannot make money out of something, you're not going to last for a long time. Social service is great, but there's no such thing as a free lunch. Everything has a price and everything has a cost. So that means that they had to find a way to make money. And they thought, what if we use this as a massive billboard? Now, when you go on YouTube, you have ads everywhere. The company's making millions of dollars and everyone's happy. The investors are happy, the founders are happy, the users, I don't want to watch a 5-minute ad before how to open a door video. That's a bit annoying. But they found out a way to make money. In fact, companies like Unacademy are still not profitable, and they're so big in India for their JEE prep and all of that. So one of the key things is to not worry about the profit. Because if your idea is good, investors are willing to back it. Investors are not looking at a product or a person. They're looking at a vision. They're looking at the innovation. Instead of saying, I can make you 5 rupees now, I would much rather go with the person saying, I will make you 500, 5,000 rupees in the future if you just believe in me. And a lot of the time, the people who chose to believe in the believers and dreamers have come out on top. In fact, for a long time, Tesla was not making a profit on its cars. Ford was not making a profit on its cars. Amazon was losing money on every single order that they shipped. And yet, investors still continue to believe in them. When you invest in a company, when other people are investing in your dream, your passion, your baby, they're not investing based on how much money they can get now. They're investing based off of how much money they can make in the future. There is a show on TV called Shark Tank, where young entrepreneurs come to pitch their ideas to sharks who are usually big investors. And one thing you will notice on that show is the founders will have big valuations. They'll say, my company is worth 5-6 crores. But then when you ask them, how much money are you actually making? They'll say, oh, we made like 50,000 last year. or we made 30,000, but we actually had to spend 20,000 rupees, so our profit's only 10,000. And you might think, so how you valued at a million, couple crores? Then they will tell you our projections for the next year are much higher. Right now, this year we made 50,000 rupees. Next year, we're gonna make around 5 lakhs. And you might think, how do you get that 10x jump? Growth is not linear. We're always taught in school and university that we start here and that if we try very, very hard, we will go up to here. But in my personal experience, that's never been the case. Growth always happens like this. First, you will start and you'll see a jump. You'll see people getting interested in your product, your idea, your passion, your hobby. Then you'll grow some more. You'll be driven by that first initial growth. And then you'll start to plateau. You'll stay stagnant for a long time. And this is the worst part of any business or any idea or any hobby. This is like when you practice every day. You go to the gym and yet you cannot break your PR. You cannot lift more weight than when you first started. And you've been trying and trying. This is the point when many companies die. When many companies decide to give up, sell it to a bigger company and stop. But after that period of plateauing, that's when companies usually explode in growth. Because they've shown that they are able to be massive and that they are able to work through any challenges. Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla, during the launch of the Model 3, the company's most popular car, he slept in a couch inside the Tesla factory. Something that most workers are not willing to do. He had to sleep in a couch. He had to take part in meetings, deciding about how quickly screws are being placed inside the car to improve production. All the while, he had 3 other companies on his hand that he had to run, and he had other dreams and passions. Today, Tesla's Model 3 is the best-selling car in the world, only behind the Ford F-150 and Toyota Corolla. Their Tesla Model Y is one of the most popular electric cars in Europe. All because Elon Musk had to sleep on the floor, go to meetings where he had to decide what type of paint to put on the doors and how to keep his company afloat. When you become an entrepreneur, it's a lot like giving childbirth because you are creating a baby. And this baby, if it dies, it's going to be very sad. But what do? You continue to move on. If you fail, you try again. When I first wrote my book, I wrote a 50-page draft. And when I mean 50 pages, I don't mean book-size pages. I mean full A4 sheet-size pages. And it took me around 2 months. I read through it, and after an hour, guess what I did? I clicked Control-A, delete. I deleted my entire first draft because I thought it wasn't good enough. Then I wrote my second draft, this time 75 pages. And I thought, yes, this is it. Then I looked and I thought, wait, my first draft was better. So I did Control-A, delete one more time, and redid my first draft. Then I came upon a realization. Instead of deleting my entire draft each time, why don't I just try to improve it? So started doing that. And then I went to an editor that my father said he had to invest in. And that editor gave me over 5,000 corrections. Most of them grammar, sometimes sentence corrections. I had to go through each and every correction to make sure that it wasn't going to change the flow or the passion of the book. So then I had to do that. In the end, the entire process took me over a year. And guess what? I could have made more money working at McDonald's or something. That is the nature of entrepreneurship. But if you ask me, I would do it all over again. I would go through the struggle of writing another book, which I have already started drafting. I would go through that entire struggle just to make the same as someone who might work at a McDonald's, because that's my passion. My passion is learning about finance, investing, the way companies work, how these giants work, and then teaching it to the world. That's my passion. So I'm willing to do that. So after graduating, maybe you get into a job, maybe you go to higher education, maybe you get an MBA or something, maybe you decide to start your company. But before you do all of that, I sincerely ask every single one of you to find your passion. What wakes you up in the morning and tells you, I want to make this change in the world. I really want to do this. If your passion is coding, then go for it. Work at Google. Start your own software. do it. If your passion is looking into the numbers of individual businesses, figuring out how to improve the efficiency of something, go into accounting, go into commerce. If you love building things, if you like finding out how each minute part on this watch works, go into engineering, do it. But find that passion and the money will follow you. One of the biggest mistakes that I've made in my life and many big businesses have made is that they chase money when in reality, money should chase you. I'll give you an example. WeWork was a startup founded by Israeli Adam. He had a $5 billion investment from Japan's SoftBank, one of the biggest firms in the company. And Japan as a nation at the time was going through a massive economic slump. So if WeWork became the next trillion-dollar company, it would be amazing for everyone on board. And WeWork's idea was simple. Let's say I have an empty space, an office space. I could then sell it to WeWork and they would use it as a co-working space. A novel idea at the time. You know, right now, if I want to work by myself, I either have to do it at home or do it at a coffee shop until I get yelled at by the owner and told to leave. But at WeWork, I could be there for as long as I wanted and I could work. Fantastic idea. It raised over $1 billion, $5 billion. Then it raised more money and more money. Today, that company is worth less than $100 million. Used to be worth $1 billion, now it's less than $100 million because of bad decisions made by the executive team. And I know many of you are thinking, so you're telling me that I could become a billionaire and then drop? Yes. You could raise a child. You could raise a child and it will, you could do everything right. You could send it to the best schools. You could teach them everything. You could teach them how to play cricket, all of that. And at the end of the day, they could grow up and become RCB fans. Okay? Isala Cup nahi. You keep saying, RCB fans keep saying that they never win a cup. It's getting annoying. CSK forever. And with that, I would like to end. Thank you so much.
Your boldness in chasing your dreams serves as a reminder that age is just a number when it comes to making a difference. Thank you, Mr. Skanda Suhas, for sharing your experiences with the future entrepreneurs gathered here. Now, I request Dr. Tamarai Selvan, Assistant Professor, Department of Electronics, to present a memento to our guest, Mr. BADRI NARAYAN, as a token of love and affection. Thank you, sir. I invite Dr. Parveen Banu, Head, Department of BCom IB, to present a memento to our invitee, Mr. Skanda Suhas. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. To express gratitude, I invite Dr. Shobana R., Assistant Professor of BCA and Alumni Coordinator, to the podium.
Good evening, students. It's my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to everyone. It would like to express one of the deepest gratitude to our distinguished chief guests, Mr. BADRI NARAYAN sir and Mr. Skanda Suhas. I welcome and thank you so much for sharing your experience to the students, for the future investors and also the future entrepreneurs. And thank you, students, for your valuable time you have shared with us, and hope we can see more leaders and more innovators in upcoming years. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So just one small announcement. If you would like to read through Mr. Skanda Suhas's book, it's available on Amazon for you to buy. Okay, thank you. Okay, the title of the book is The Young Investors Club. Okay, it's available on Amazon.
Thank you, ma'am. I request everyone to rise for national anthem.